It's 1965, and before dawn breaks in Britain, millions wake to the jarring ring of a wind-up alarm clock in freezing bedrooms. Less than 10% have central heating. Children pull on short trousers, parents light a coal fire, and no one seems to notice the country is on the edge of change. But what did an ordinary day really feel like, before the modern world reshaped everything? This is how it began. The morning air bites before anyone speaks. In bedrooms across Britain, frost etches patterns on the inside of the window glass. Breath hangs in the cold, each cloud a small reminder that the house has not yet woken. Dad moves first. He slides from bed, feet meeting icy floorboards, and heads downstairs in the half-dark. The living room is colder than he left it, the fire's embers long faded. He kneels and lays out yesterday's newspaper, shovels coal from the scuttle, and strikes a match. The tang of smoke and the first crackle of flame drift up the stairs. If the house has a paraffin heater, he turns the knob and listens for the soft hiss, the air filling with that sharp, oily scent. It is a familiar risk. Paraffin accidents are common, but the promise of warmth is worth it. Upstairs, Mum is already moving. She pulls on her dressing gown, wraps it tight, and heads to the kitchen. The kettle goes straight on the gas stove. There is no rushing. She knows it will take time for the water to boil and the rooms to lose their chill. Cups and saucers are set out, never mugs. The tea leaves go into the pot and a knitted cozy is pulled over to keep it warm. The ritual is the same every morning. Strong tea poured into cups, milk and sugar offered, the clink of teaspoons against porcelain. On the counter, a loaf of bread waits for slicing, and the marmalade jar is already half empty. The children stumble out of bed, shivering, and hurry into their uniforms. Short trousers for the boys, even in January. Grey socks pulled up, shirts buttoned, sweaters over vests. No one lingers in the bedroom. Downstairs, they huddle close to the fire or heater, hands stretched out for warmth. Breakfast is simple, porridge thick with milk, or cornflakes if the box is not empty. Toast pops up, buttered quickly before it cools. A boiled egg is a treat, but not every day. The family gathers at the kitchen table. Dad unfolds the newspaper, scanning headlines. The BBC light programme hums quietly from the radio in the corner. There is no talk of the cold. Everyone expects it. The warmth comes slowly, first in the kitchen, then in the living room as the fire takes hold. Outside, the frost lingers. Inside, the day begins around a table, tea steaming, routines unchanged. The front door clicks shut behind the children, and the street greets them with a thin mist and the distant clatter of a milk float. Hands tucked into coat pockets, they set off alone or in small groups, their breath quickening in the cold. This is not an unusual sight. Across Britain, children as young as 7 walk to school without an adult. Siblings look out for each other, but most know the route by heart, past the corner shop, the postbox, the same cracked paving stones. The idea of a parent driving them is almost unthinkable. Fewer than 4 in 10 families own a car, and the one car in the household is already gone, taken by Dad to work before sunrise. Some children walk the whole way, their shoes scuffing the frosty pavement. Others catch the bus, coins pressed into their palms. The bus stop is a gathering place, a line of small figures in grey and navy, satchels bumping against legs. The double-decker arrives with a hiss of brakes. The conductor waits at the door, uniform neat, ticket machine slung from his shoulder. Each child hands over a few pence, 2 or 3 old pennies, for a single fare. The conductor's bell punch machine snaps and dings with every ticket, a sound as familiar as birdsong. He tears off a small rectangle of paper and drops it into a waiting hand. Children keep the tickets safe, folded and warm in a mitten or tucked into a pocket, to be handed over at the school gate or simply collected as souvenirs. On the upper deck, the windows fog with breath and chatter. There is no seatbelt, no adult hovering nearby, only the conductor's watchful eye and the city rolling past. Bus rides are short, sometimes just a couple of stops, but for many, this is the first taste of independence, a journey made without supervision, part of the daily fabric of childhood. When the bus stops near the school, children tumble out, tickets clutched, and join the streams walking toward the gates. No one waits to be escorted. The street belongs to them, at least for the length of the morning, in a world where trust and routine carry them from doorstep to classroom. Assembly is a ritual that shapes the start of every school day. Children file into the hall, shoes echoing on polished floors, uniforms neat, hands by their sides. The headmaster stands at the front, upright and unsmiling, a black gown draped over his shoulders. He surveys the rows as teachers hush the last whispers. A piano chord signals the hymn. Voices rise, some strong, some timid, singing words memorized long before. There is no question of not joining in. After the hymn, the headmaster reads a passage from the Bible, his voice steady and slow. No one fidgets, no one speaks. Then comes the Lord's Prayer, recited in unison, a daily anchor that passes without much thought. Discipline is not just expected, it is enforced. Every child knows the rules. Speak only when spoken to, stand when an adult enters, never answer back. Corporal punishment is legal and common. The cane hangs in the headmaster's office, its presence enough to keep order for most. A boy caught whispering might be called out, his name written in the punishment book. The threat of the slipper or cane is real, and parents rarely question it. The assembly ends with a formal address, reminders about manners, punctuality, and the importance of respect. Children file out silently, returning to classrooms where the day's lessons begin, the memory of strict order lingering as the morning moves on. Rows of wooden desks fill the office, each topped with a typewriter and a stack of carbon paper. The steady clack of keys and the metallic ring of carriage returns set the rhythm. Filing cabinets line the walls, packed tight with folders because every letter, invoice and memo is typed and filed by hand. Men arrive in dark suits and polished shoes, collars stiff, ties straight. Even in factories, a clean shirt and tie are expected. At 10:30 sharp, the day pauses. A tea lady steers her trolley down the aisle, steam rising from chipped cups. She pours strong tea, hands out biscuits, and collects a few pence with a smile. The break is short, 15 minutes. Then the typewriters start up again. Back on the high street, Mum navigates the morning errands. The butcher greets her by name, weighing out chops on brass scales before wrapping them in brown paper. The greengrocer recommends the freshest carrots, and the baker slides a warm loaf into her basket. Groceries are carried home in string bags, never plastic. Laundry waits in a tin tub, or for the lucky, a twin tub machine, a rarity in 1965. Clothes are scrubbed, wrung out, and pegged to the line in the backyard. Each task takes time and effort, unseen by most, but essential to the family's evening meal and clean uniforms for the next day. Tea is served at the kitchen table around 5:30, plates steaming with sausages and mash or fish and chips, vegetables boiled soft and piled high. Everyone sits together, elbows close, conversation simple. How was school? How was work? There is no television in the background, only the clatter of cutlery and the scrape of chairs on linoleum. Bread is sliced thick, buttered, and passed around. Pudding follows, rice pudding or tinned peaches with evaporated milk. The sweet finish. to a plain meal. When the plates are cleared, Mum fills the sink with hot water and washes dishes by hand, her sleeves rolled up. Children spread out homework on the table, pencils scratching, sums done under the yellow glow of the lamp. Dad collects the empty milk bottles and places them by the door for morning delivery. The house settles into a quiet rhythm, everyone doing their part before the evening truly begins. 2 channels fill the living room with flickering light, BBC One and ITV, nothing more. The family sits close, eyes fixed on the set, watching what has been scheduled for them. There is no remote. Someone gets up to turn the dial if the program does not suit. The Beatles might appear on Jukebox Jury, or a drama like Z-Cars plays out in black and white. Harold Wilson's face sometimes appears between shows, the news reminding everyone who leads the country. As the evening draws on, the programs wind down. Around 11, the final credits roll. The national anthem, God Save the Queen, plays. Every household sits through it, some standing out of habit or respect. Then the screen fades to a test card or silent static. The living room quiets. Lights go off. The day's shared rhythm ends not with a bang, but with a hush that settles over every home. Everyday routines shape the world we inherit. Today, the average Briton spends over 6 hours online, yet shared moments at the table are rarer than ever. What we call ordinary now will define nostalgia tomorrow. What's your daily ritual that future generations might find remarkable? Let's talk in the comments.